Groovy Guitar Dude here with a beginner guitar tutorial for Too Sweet using my Zager guitar. Today you're joining me at Mountain Shire in the Smokey Mountains. Behind me you'll see our Hobbit Home for the week, the Enchanted Forest. We've absolutely loved our stay at this magical and unique place. Our favorite thing about Mountain Shire is that it's pet friendly, so Kona's been able to join us on this adventure. You can learn more about Mountain Shire's Hobbit Homes at Mountain Shire TN on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and you can book your own stay in the Shire at the links in the description. The first things that you want to know to play Too Sweet on guitar is that we'll have a capo on 3rd fret, and the 7 chords that you need to play this song are E minor, D over F sharp, G, A7 sus4, G over B, C, and B7. And I'll have short chord tutorials for all those in the pinned comment below for those of you who need them. With all that in mind, let's dive into Too Sweet. The first thing we'll take a look at is the picking pattern that repeats through most of the song. Now this picking pattern is mostly played on bass, so we're going to kind of adapt it over to guitar and relative to the capo. So it's going to sound just a little bit different because we're kind of translating it in that way, but it's all the same notes, it's just going to be a little different because we're playing it on guitar versus on bass. So we'll start here with an open low E. We're gonna pick it 3 times, but in between the 2nd and the 3rd time, we're gonna have a little bit of space. So we're gonna go, and we're gonna do that twice. So, just like that. And then we're gonna do a 2nd fret on the low E string. We're gonna pick that quickly 4 times. And then we'll go to the 3rd fret on the low E, and on the 3rd fret on the low E, we're gonna do that same pattern that we did for the open low E. So 3 times picking it with a little bit of space between the 2nd and 3rd time, and we'll repeat that twice. So from there, we're gonna move down to the A string. We're gonna quickly pick open twice, and then 2nd twice. Then we go up to 3rd fret on the A string. We're gonna have that same kind of motion we had on the open and 3rd on the low E. So we're gonna go, but we're gonna tag on an extra 2 picks to the end of that. And then we move down to the D string. We're gonna play that open, and we're gonna have that same kind of 3 picks space in between the 2nd and the 3rd, but we're just gonna do it once. We're gonna go, and then this is a little bit of a weird motion, but not too crazy. We're gonna go open on the B once, and then quickly to 2nd on the A. And those 3 notes are gonna have that same kind of feel. 3 picks right in a row, but space between the 2nd and 3rd. So, just like that. And then 2 more picks tagged onto the end of the 2nd on the A. And that picking pattern, that whole thing right there, repeats throughout pretty much the entire song. So once all the way through that picking pattern without me talking, will look about like this. From there, the only other thing you want to know for Too Sweet is the chord progression and the strum patterns that we'll be repeating through pretty much the whole song as well. First, let's take a look at the chord progression. We're going to start with an E minor, then D over F sharp, then G, then we're going to go to A7 sus4, G over B, C, and then we'll have G and B7. And again, that chord progression repeats through pretty much the whole song. Now, for strum pattern, this is going to be a little up to interpretation, but this strum pattern situation is what I thought sounded really nice with the song. If you're doing an acoustic cover, this would work really, really well. It's a bit complex, but not difficult. It might just be a little hard to remember, so you might take some notes along the way as we're walking through this chord by chord. All right, starting with our E minor chord. For our E minor chord, we're going to go up, down, down. So it's almost kind of mimicking that picking pattern too, that up, down, small pause, down. So, and we're gonna do that twice for that chord. So up, down, down, up, down, down, just like that. Next we go to the D over F sharp. We'll have down, up, just like that, pretty quick. And then we go to the G. The G is gonna be the same as the E minor. So up, down, down, up, down, down. Next we go to the A7 sus4 and the G over B. This is gonna be kind of quick. We're gonna go down, up, and then G over B, down, up. Just like that, pretty quick transitions. Then we go to C. For the C chord, we're gonna play up, down, down, up, down, down, and then we're gonna tag it with a up, down, up. And then we go to that last G chord there. We're just gonna do 1, up, down, down, and then we go to B7, and it's gonna be up, down, down, up, down, up. And that chord progression with those strum patterns or close to those strum patterns will repeat through the whole song. Again, that's just my interpretation. Use your own creativity if you think something else sounds better, but I think those strum patterns work really well and can kind of be repeated through the whole song. So with all that in mind, a couple times through that chord progression and those strum patterns that will repeat through most of Too Sweet will look about like this without me talking. And that's all you need to know to play Too Sweet on guitar. If this video helped you out, I've got about 1,000 others just like it. You can check out another one of those right here.